Hey guys, it's Brick Thunder, and today we are doing part 2 of the vlog series. So today we are starting here at the haunt just because it looks really cool. But today's video is actually starting at the warehouse because we have something big to move. But eventually we're going to be making our way back here and doing some work on a new scene. So yeah, stick around. It's going to be a very exciting episode compared to the last one. The last one was a lot of cleaning and organizing. This one is a lot of building. So yeah. Hope you guys enjoy. Let's go. All right, so I think it's time to take one of my big new projects over to the haunt now. All the welding is done. So this thing is really close to being finished. It just needs cosmetic changes and it needs to be coated. But this thing is a huge new part of the mausoleum scene. As you can see, it's made out of the 9-foot zombie parts, but everything mechanically has been redone, and I gave it a ton of pneumatic movement. So I'm super excited about this. I will show you guys a video eventually of this thing moving once it's all coated and all the air lines are hooked up. But for now, we do have to move this over to the haunt. Luckily, I built this so that it can come apart. So the tombstones, there's 3 up there, those all snap lock right off of him. And then the upper body comes off of the lower body. So it should be fairly easy to transport. I think the head can actually come off as well, although I don't think I'll be doing that today. I'm pretty sure half and half should be just fine. I do have the truck here, so it shouldn't be too difficult. Let's try to move it. All right, so the first step is done. He is now laying on his chest. So this is gonna be a lot easier. I do have the tombstones removed as well. So next, what we have to do is we have to I'm gonna try to take off the head. If I can't, it's fine. If I can, it'll just help with weight because that head and the metal that supports it and moves it weighs a lot. All right, head is off. I do have to grab a wrench from the haunt, but that's fine. The truck is pretty filled already with the head, tombstones, and I did bring a coffin over because that is another part of the mausoleum scene. So we're gonna go to the haunt, drop off the stuff, grab a wrench, come back, and then we will take this apart, bring this, and then we will work on some mausoleum stuff. All right, we've got the whole zombie here. There's his head and tombs over there. So the next step here is removing the old scene. So we have our archway to take down. We've got bone collector to take down. All this fencing needs to go. And this scene is gonna start right from that door. So there's gonna be a wall right here so that you don't see the swamp. But yeah, right here is where it starts. This fence can probably stay. If not, we'll just move it. But the rest of this definitely needs to go because there's going to be structure here and the big zombie is going to be looming over people. All right, fence is gone and bone collector is boxed up. It is definitely more empty now. So the next step will be the archway. I'm excited to get this wall in here so we can see what this entire scene really looks like. But people are gonna walk this way. This over here is gonna continue as mausoleum. Although this is probably gonna be a bit more catacomb-ish. And I kinda wanna do kind of like an old vampire type style. We got the vampire there, but I'm thinking hanging vampires on the walls and stuff like that. I feel like that could be really cool. So now it's time to start building. The first step to this new scene is gonna be creating the wood frame. All right, so our next big project here has already started, as you can see. I'm here with Josh. This is the mausoleum. So I talked about this in the last video, and this entire walk is built out now. So it's pretty weird. This is some of the weirdest framing we had to do. For example, this right here. This is a window into another section, as you can see all the way through, which we thought was pretty cool. So right now, we have already built all the wood framing needed. The next step, as you can see, is we got a ton of foam boards. We're gonna cover everything here in foam so we can carve it out to look like stone. But then that's not quite enough because stuff like the church facade, for example, you see that from far, doesn't matter up close too much. Like if I went up to it, there's some spots where guests can do this, but like if I went up to it and touched it, you can see it's still foam. It's squishy. You can tell it's foam, but like I said, from far, that doesn't matter. But up here, we are obviously expecting people to touch everything. Everything in this area is either hip height or goes up a bit higher. But you can grab onto stuff like this very easily, and people will for sure. The other one over there, there's a whole nother wood frame over here that's even lower. People are definitely going to be using it as kind of like a railing. So we know people are going to touch this stone, which means we want to make it feel real. So we're going to coat then all of that foam in joint compound. And that's what I'm coating the cave with this year as well. It makes it so when you touch it, it feels like real stone because it's basically a cement or like a plaster type material. So everything feels kind of more sharp and rigid. It feels heavy, which is perfect. And it gives it a nice rock texture, especially after being painted. So it definitely adds a lot to it, especially for scenes where, like I said, you're expecting people to touch everything. So I'm gonna update you guys with what we're doing with the foam first, because that's our first step here, now that we have all that framing done. And then I will update you guys on the joint compound and the details. Something I forgot to mention are these pillars. These are kind of the main focal point here, or hopefully are one of the main ones. There's also going to be a fourth pillar right over there, but these are going to kind of have connectors between them, like archways. This one I think will be more broken because it is a wider gap here. It'll be kind of broken off here, broken off here. That one might connect. That one might be broken again. The whole purpose of this scene is to look like a really, really broken down mausoleum. So the mausoleum used to be nice. It used to be full. And now it's really exposed to outdoors. We'll have trees all along here, trees back there, and then vines taking over it all, like it's all run down and old. All right, so we're working on the pillar now. We do have some stone texture on here already, which is looking awesome, and that's with the joint compound. But this is what we're thinking for the cross sections here. So this one's gonna actually be broken. We're gonna make that look broken, and then there's just gonna be kind of a start of another half over on this side. One of them will probably be fully connected, but that's what we're thinking. We've got some support up there, and I think that looks pretty awesome. All right, so this is where we are right now. We got some stone on there, but right now a lot of it is still just the exposed carved foam. But it's looking pretty cool. So as you can see over there, we've got our window going. So that is going to be a window into the next section, and also just kind of a sneak peek to something. We'll probably have a prop way out back there. And over here, we have the start of the walk here in the mausoleum. So this is all covered, like I said, in the stone, in the joint compound. I'll probably do a second layer in some areas, but overall, it worked really well. Same with the pillar. We only got one side of it right now, but like this entire side, it feels like stone. It makes it heavier feeling. It's kind of sharp in some areas, and it feels like an actual rock. So definitely happy with that. The next thing I have to do is kind of texture the window better, because that has not been textured yet. It's just been cut. Same with this type of area over here, so that hopefully all of it can kind of have this look. All right, so we are now basically ready to do the full joint compound run over here on this side. So obviously we did this, which turned out great. It all feels like stone now. We have the mapped out mausoleum tombs there. The archway is done. And then all of this now is ready to go. So we've got our awesome looking window here. It's super detailed on both sides. We've got this side, we've got this very broken edge right here. We're working on another spot over here. And then this is the other side of the window. As you can see, detailed on both sides. You can see through back to the scene you just walked in. So definitely happy with how this came out. Now it's time to cover it all in joint compound. All right, so next update here, we've got our archway covered in stone. We've got that entire wall covered in stone. The window is looking really, really cool from both sides, actually. Let's go view it from this other side. As you can see, looks really, really cool. So that was the main task of yesterday, but today I'm here alone and just working on this new area. So this is finally coming together. At first, I really could not tell if this would work, but I am pretty happy with the outcome of this. This is kind of like a memorial type area. There's gonna be a ton of candles all along here, and then there's that statue of the angel in the middle. And then I got this awesome pillar from Goodwill, actually, that's supporting it all. We've got the crosses down there. We've got the pillars down there, and then I did this kind of like broken archway above. Like there used to be something nice and now it's kind of just distressed. But yeah, I am super happy with the outcome of this so far. Obviously, once it's covered in stone and everything's painted, it's gonna look a lot cooler. But just in foam, I'm definitely happy with it. And this is basically where I'm gonna leave it, I believe. It is pretty close. I'm definitely gonna add some detail over here, add some detail up here, but that is the main part of it right there. All right, so I wanted to give you guys an update on this area. This is coming together super nicely. I'm very happy with how it's going here. The foam is sculpted all at the top, but not covered or detailed yet. But down here, this is all done, basically. It needs to be painted, obviously, but as you can see, it's all covered in the stone. It turned out looking amazing. I'm definitely very happy with how it looks, and I think it adds a lot to this overall room, and just kind of the story behind it. I think the statue is perfect for this area. And then just that main table piece is gonna look really cool when it's covered in candles. And this is gonna look like a pretty awesome monument type piece to the theme. All right, so I have a gray base coat on all of this. I picked a pretty light gray because I think that will add a lot to this, because I'm gonna go in now with a small airbrush with FW ink to do some black shadowing, and then we're gonna do a wash on the whole thing with brown, green, and darker gray as well. I also did this. This all kind of needs a second coat, especially on the other side. There's a lot of white showing through. This, I think, is close enough that it'll actually look pretty good. All right, I've got the shading done now. As you can see, it is all shaded there, and it is looking really good. I'm definitely happy with it. So the next step here after this is a wash. So we're gonna do a wash with brown and green and make this look a bit more distressed, and then this table area is done. I do still have to do shading and a wash on all of this as well. But yeah, just wanted to update on there. All right, so I think we are at a good place to stop for today. So that is our progress for now on the mausoleum, but I will definitely update you guys when the time comes, when we continue working on this. I think we're at a fairly good stopping point though now. So this is gonna be the end of this vlog, but I will definitely be continuing these as you guys definitely seem to like them, so that is awesome. And I love giving you guys updates on stuff that I usually wouldn't be able to just because of how much production it takes to make something like the documentary series. So doing stuff like this is definitely very fun. And yeah, let me know if you guys wanna keep seeing it. The next episode will probably continue with basically just this. Finishing up the mausoleum, there's definitely still a lot of work to be done. But then the next thing is probably preparing for a new experience we're gonna be offering here, and then also just some more haunt prep. There's gonna be that whole scene over past the mausoleum over in that area that we got to build, so that will be coming up soon. We've got a whole big addition to the swamp that's coming soon, so all of that has to be done fairly soon, but we're not as rushed as usual, so that's pretty nice. But this is gonna end it for today's stream, but yeah, we got a good amount of progress done, so definitely happy with that. All right, thank you guys for watching. See you guys in the next one. Bye.